Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make another piece of pixel art. This time, I'm going to be showing you how to make the monster logo. That's right, I'm finally going to be doing this. The reason that I've put it off for so long in the past is because I haven't been able to improve on the design that I'm about to show you how to make. But, I'm finally caving in. Let's do this. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need black wool, dark green, and finally, lime wool. That's right, you will only need 3 colours. And before we start this, I do want to say, don't think yourself limited to the dark green and lime green combo. Feel free to use whatever colours you want. In fact, my first design of this was dark blue and cyan, but you could quite easily make it magenta and pink, or red and orange, or grey, or whatever colour you want to make it. It's completely up to you. Once you are happy with your colour selection, and once you have figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right here. You're going to want to kick this off with a single black wool on its own on the floor. Look how sad it is. Once you've done that, you then want to do an up left diagonal from that block. Place one on top. Then do another up left diagonal. Place 2 on top. 1, 2. Then do another up left diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do an upright diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do an up left diagonal. Place 5 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an up left diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do an upright diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do another upright diagonal. Place 3 on top. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do another up left diagonal. Place 2 on top. 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do an up left diagonal. Place 7 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then do an up left diagonal. Then do an upright diagonal. And place 2 on top. 1, 2. Then, finally, do 2 up left diagonals. 1 and 2. The reason that I'm stopping here is because we have pretty much reached the top part of the left half of the middle claw, and I just want to show you guys what it should look like. Obviously, it's a little big for you to specifically see how many blocks some rows are, although you can tell with some of them. However, you'll be able to grasp whether you have made the general shape right or not by looking at it. So, pause if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that yours looks pretty much like this one, it's time for us to continue on. So come back up to where we just finished off with this second up left diagonal, and go left of the second up left diagonal by 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then go down by 2. 1, 2. Oh, we're going to have to do a lot of building down. I didn't anticipate this. This is going to upset me. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Go to the left by 1. Then go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Under the second bottom right diagonal, go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Then go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Followed by a bottom right diagonal. Then go down by 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's finish this up by doing a bottom left diagonal, which should look exactly, if I can zoom out in time to finish my sentence. Give it a moment, guys. There we go. Which should look exactly like that. And as I said with the other bit, it's going to be pretty difficult to tell like individual row lengths, but you should hopefully get a general idea on whether you've done it right or not. As a matter of fact, pause this bit if necessary, of course. As a matter of fact, you'll know that you've done it right, roughly, if the bottom bit right here, this single bottom left diagonal, is 1 block off of the floor. You'll know that you've roughly done it right. Anyway, let's continue. So continuing on from this block right here, you're going to want to do 2 up left diagonals. So 1 and 2. On top of the second up left diagonal, go up on top of it by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go up by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. Then an up right diagonal. Then another up left diagonal. Go up by 2. 1, 2. And then go to the right by 1. After you've went to the right by 1, return to this block right here and do an up left diagonal from it. Followed by an up right diagonal. Then go up by 1. Then do an up right diagonal. Then go up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal. Then an up right diagonal. And go up again by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal. Go up by 2. 1, 2. Then do 2 up left diagonals. 1, 2. Then go up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Once you have went up by 3, you then want to do an upright diagonal. And go up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an up left diagonal. Go up by 2. 1, 2. Then left by 1. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you know what, this is actually a good part to just show you what you want to have roughly for that left claw. So let me just show you. Let me see if I can get a nice view. That's probably about as close as I can get. And again, I'm probably going to say this every time since it's me. You won't be able to tell exactly what's in what row, but you should roughly be able to figure out whether you've done it right or not. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you're happy with that, it's time for us to continue on. So coming back up to where we just finished off, we just went left by 5. Continuing on from this end block, you want to do an up left diagonal. Then an up right diagonal. Go to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do another up right diagonal. And go to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up right diagonal. Go to the right by 1. Then do another up right diagonal. And a bottom right diagonal. Go to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Go to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2. 1, 2. Then do 2 upright diagonals. 1, 2. Then do 3 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2, and 3. Then go down by 1. Then right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then go down by 1. Then the left by 2. 1, 2. And then down by 1. And this is actually a good part to show you what you want to have for the top bit on top of the claws. So that is roughly what you want to have. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that that is what you have, it's time for us to continue. So coming back to where we finished off, this block right here, going down by 1, you want to then do a bottom left diagonal. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then do another bottom left diagonal. Go down by 2. 1, 2. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Then go down by 1. And do a bottom left diagonal. Then a bottom right diagonal. Then a bottom left diagonal. Then a bottom right diagonal. Feels like I'm making a zip. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then do 3 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1 and 2. Then go down by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And finish this off by going down by 1. And once you have placed that final block, you have successfully completed 2/3 of our pixel art. We just have the one claw left to do, and let me just get you a nice view of what we have just done. So you'll know whether you've done it right or not, as it'll all connect up nicely. However, if you haven't, this is what it should look like. Pause this if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that you have reached this point right here, it's time for us to continue on. Let's do the final claw, shall we? So come up to the top of the middle claw, come over to the right. Locate this block right here. I'll give you guys a moment. Once you've found this block, you then want to go right of it by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then go up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal. Then go to the right by 1. Then do an upright diagonal, followed by a bottom right diagonal. Then go to the right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Go to the right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then go down by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal. Go down by 1. Then do yet another bottom left diagonal. And go down by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal. Then do a bottom right diagonal. And go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you want to go to the left of that third block by 1. And once you've done that, you then want to return to the center block right here and do a bottom right diagonal. Once you have placed that bottom right diagonal, you want to follow it with 2 bottom left diagonals, 1 and 2. You then want to go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1 and 2. Then go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom left diagonal and go down by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal and go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1 and 2. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2. Then go down by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Go down by 2, 1, 2. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal. Go down by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, followed by a bottom left diagonal. Let me just show you what that side of the claw wants to look like once it has been done. Oh, the zooming out times. Wonderful. This is probably the worst view out of all of them. However, you do have the benefit of not having any particularly long rows. That's a positive. And again, hopefully, you should be able to tell whether you've done it right or not. A real sure way to tell is whether the bottom of the claw actually touches the ground. If it does, you've probably done it right. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that that is what you have, it's time for us to continue on. Let's finish off this pixel art, shall we? We have almost finished with the outline. So, coming back down to where we just finished off, an easier way to do this actually is to, on top of the last block that you placed, just place a lime green wall, or whatever your lighter colour may be. And left of that wall, just place a black. Then, do an up left diagonal from that black. Then go up by 2, 1, 2. Then do an up right diagonal, followed by an up left diagonal. Then go up by 2, 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up by 1. Then do an up left diagonal. And go up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up by 2. 1, 2. Then do an up left diagonal. And go up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an up left diagonal. And go up again by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do an up left diagonal. Followed by 2 up right diagonals. 1, 2. Then do an up left diagonal. Then an up right diagonal. Then an up left diagonal. Go up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal. Then do 2 up left diagonals. 1 and 2. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Go to the left by 1. Then do an up left diagonal and finish this off by placing one black block to the left of that diagonal, which should finish off that third and final claw, and in turn finish the entire outline of our month's logo. And let me just show you what that wants to look like. I have to give you the best view. As always, you know that you've done it right if it connects back to the other part of the outline. However, for those of you that maybe didn't get there, this is what it should look like. Pause this if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that you've done that, I just want to show you the entire outline before we get any colouring in done. So the colouring in process for this is actually really simple. There's just some light shading on all three of the claws, and then the rest of it is just large blocks of colour. So with the light shading, I'm not going to be explaining any of what I'm doing with the colour, but I'm going to split it up into 3 sections of 3 claws, and you guys should hopefully, assuming that you've reached this point, be able to tell where the shading is and do it for yourself. So let's begin, shall we? And as always, oops, hit my desk. As always, pause this if necessary, of course. Once you're happy with that, it's time for us to continue on. So we'll be starting on the left here. We'll start with the first claw. And the first little bit of colour starts on top of here. And you're going to be using your dark colour for this whole part, these next 3 parts. And you're just going to want to do this. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to try and explain where I'm placing any of this colour. So you guys are just either going to have to slow down the tape or rewind it or what have you. But I have enough faith in you guys that with the outline placed, you should probably be able to figure out where I'm placing the colour regardless. Or at least that's when I have a really easy time just looking at things and figuring out where colours go, is when they're just placed directly next to something else. So this is all of the dark colour that exists on this first claw here. As I keep saying over and over again, it's quite easy to tell where it should go, as it exists predominantly all around the actual outline. So pause this if necessary, of course. I'm sure that you guys won't have any trouble placing any of that. Once you're happy that you've done that, it's time for us to move on to this middle claw. So let's get the UI back on and let's move on to the middle. So the middle is a little different. It's a little more spread out, but it's still equally as easy. It all exists pretty much entirely next to the outline, so there's nothing to worry about. It's very simple. Let's just do this. It's kind of hard focusing on the plans and the screen at the same time. I feel as though I'm going boz-eyed. So that is all of the dark colour that exists on the middle claw. Let me just show you that. Getting a little ahead of myself. So there you go. Now that you can actually see it, that is all of the dark colour that exists on the middle claw. As I mentioned, it's a little more spread out than the first claw, but it is still pretty easy to tell where it all should go. It's exactly next to the outline. It's predominantly all on the right hand side, a little bit on the top, but hopefully you guys shouldn't have too much trouble. So pause if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that yours looks exactly like this, it's time for us to do this third and final claw. So let's move our way onto the third and final claw, shall we? So just as with the second claw, the detail is a little bit more spread out, but honestly it really shouldn't cause you guys any trouble. It is predominantly on the right hand side of the outline, and again it's all cozied in together. It's not too difficult. I have faith. I have faith. And there you go. As a matter of fact, we've already done it. Not too difficult whatsoever. Nice and quick. And once it's finished, it should look exactly like this. That's probably the easiest side to do, I think, looking at it. Anyway, that is all of the colour that exists not only in that third claw, but in the entire pixel art itself. So pause if necessary, of course. Once you've reached this point right here, all you have to do now is fill everywhere else inside the outline in with your lighter colour. In my case, it's going to be lime green wool. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back once it's finished. It's going to take quite a while, so I'm not going to leave it on recording. Back in a moment. So I have literally just finished adding all of the colour into our logo. It took a little while, but it's worth it. It's looking nice. Once you've reached this point in the video, once you have on your screen what I have on my screen, Inception, you have officially completed the tutorial. There is nothing left for me to show you. Kind of. For those of you that may want to stick around a little while longer, I'm going to show you guys some alternative colour schemes. However, for those of you that aren't interested, you have your own ideas, or you just want the base green, thanks for watching. I hope it was easy enough to follow, and see you in the next video. Those of you that want to stick around, let me show you what else I've been thinking about. So this is my original monster logo. I made this a long time ago with the intentions of improving it, but I kind of came to the conclusion that no matter what I did to it, I kind of made it just look worse. So I figured if I can't improve it, I'm just going to have to deal with it, and deal with it I did. So this is what it looks like with a blue colour scheme. All you have to do to change the one that I've just made into this one right here is just use dark blue in place of dark green, and cyan wool in place of lime green, and it looks pretty good if you ask me. I didn't want to make the generic one for my first one. This is the second colour scheme I intended on showing you. Let's move on to the third colour scheme, and before we go, just in case you guys may be curious, I know that some of you are quite perceptive, that nose that you are seeing is Brian. Brian from Family Guy, look at him, give him a bit of a wave. Let's move on to colour scheme number 3. So this is the third colour scheme that I'm showing you. This one's a little bit more fiery, it's a little bit more in your face. I've got to say, I quite like it. I think I might change my original to this if I don't find a preferred colour combination. Although, I might be a little biased, I am quite partial to red, it's my favourite colour. Maybe that's what's skewing it for me. However, if you want to make this one, if this one is your favourite, all you have to do is change the dark green to red and the lime green to orange, and you are good to go if you do have the same colour preferences as I. That's the third one. Let me show you the fourth and final one. I don't think I'm going to show you any more after this next one, or, well, I could go on all day. There's an infinite amount of combinations. I'll be back in a moment. So this is the fourth and final colour scheme that I wanted to show you guys, and honestly I really should have just shown you this one first, as it makes all of the other three relevant. Look how beautiful it is. It's gorgeous. So majestic. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go purple magenta or, you know, purple pink or magenta pink or what colour combination that I wanted to use, but looking at it now I feel as though I made the right decision. And of course, if you guys want, what am I saying, if you guys want to, when you guys rebrand your monster logo to make it look like this one, you're going to want to use magenta for the darker colour and pink for the lighter colour. And I think that this is a good point to stop this video. God, it's so beautiful. So again, thanks for watching. I hope that you did find the tutorial easy enough to follow, and I will see you in the next video. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel. I have tutorials ranging from YouTube statues, skin statues, houses, pixel art, the list goes on. Thanks for watching.